this is our Chapter 3 island. This is the Ice King. This is Galactus. And this is what's coming in the new season. We are comparing the sizes of all of Fortnite's largest giants in-game and soon to come to game, just to find out which one is the biggest. Okay, for us to start comparing all these sizes of these giants, we need to start with a baseline. You know, something we can compare all the giants to. So why don't we start with the island? That's right, before we start measuring the size of Galactus and the Ice King, let's start off by measuring the size of the island, and then we can compare everything to the island so we know exactly how big they really are. Okay, and that probably will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our island, our Fortnite Chapter 3 island. And if we take a quick snapshot, get your cameras ready. Oh, we have our island. This is our Chapter 3 island. We don't need to know the exact height of the Chapter 3 island because we already know everything is going to be bigger than our Chapter 3 island. So here it is. Okay, now we have the first piece of the puzzle in place. It's time to start looking at the giants. I've been through our Fortnite game and comparing them to the size of the island. Let's start with the Ice King. OG players in our Fortnite game will remember all the way back in Season 7, the giant Ice King came to our game. The first major event in Fortnite that had a giant towering above our Fortnite island, causing a massive snowstorm blizzard. A lot of people in one of the last videos when we did the size comparison actually mentioned the fact that we forgot the Ice King. So in today's video, we're gonna find out his true size. Ooh, it's a little hard to do in our Fortnite game right now because even though we do have a snowy wasteland in our game, it's not the same biome that we had back on our Chapter 1 island in Season 7. Goodness me. How many crows? The giant Ice King from Season 7 was the king of Polar Peak, and Polar Peak sat on top of a giant iceberg in the game. The Ice King conjured up a giant spirit of himself, so it is very difficult to find out exactly the right size to this giant spirit, you know, because it is a spirit, and it's also not in-game, so I was browsing online to see if I could find the size of this giant Ice King, and to find out the answer, I had to discover this image right here of the actual event. We can see some of our Fortnite islands, we can even see the iceberg, even Polar Peak, and of course the giant Ice King himself. This image right here is the closest look at gauging the size of the Ice King all the way back on our Chapter 1 island. Because we have a part of our Fortnite island right here, we can actually layer it over a similar part of our Fortnite island in Chapter 3, and this will actually give us a rough size of what the Ice King might actually be on Chapter 3. Oh, that's right, if the Ice King was in Chapter 3, he would literally look like this. Yo, that's nuts. But what this also allows us to do is actually give a rough calculation to the size of the Ice King compared to the size of the island. And after our rough calculations, it would put the Ice King about here in comparison to our Fortnite island. This is not exact, but it's pretty accurate, I would say. The Ice King of Season 7 towering over our Fortnite island. Well, the Ice King, of course, is big, but not as big as Galactus. Galactus was the giant event boss all the way back in Season 4? Season 4? Galactus was huge, and he came down from the sky out of space and landed in our Fortnite oceans, eventually to begin Season 4's final event, where he tried to take the 0 point. Once again, we're left with the challenge of how big Galactus really is. We don't have the luxury of seeing Galactus in the sky, as we did all the way back in Season 4. It looked a little bit like this. Kinda crazy, huh? I've been looking around our Fortnite island. Galactus is definitely not here. Just a bunch of crows. Literally everywhere, dude. They're literally everywhere. But for us to get the most accurate reading on the size of Galactus, once again, we're gonna have to look at the event. By going through event videos online, I found a cinematic version where a player managed to glitch out and use a camera to fly around the event. During this video, the camera actually pans back, and we get to see the sheer scale and size of Galactus during the event. Once again, we're left with a difficult situation because we can't measure the exact size of Galactus because his model is not in-game. But we can see for sure that Galactus's hand is almost the size of our Fortnite island, and we can see almost half of Galactus himself. What is most important is we can see our Fortnite island right here. So we can take this image and actually scale it down to match the original image of our Fortnite island in Chapter 3 to give us a good depiction of the size of Galactus. And once we do this, we can actually see Galactus compared to the size of our Fortnite island of Chapter 3. Let's just say he is massive. By calculating Galactus' size this way, we can see that Galactus is so much bigger than our Fortnite Island. Literally one of the biggest bosses ever to exist in game. And this is only half of him. Half of his body is currently sunken underneath the water. At least it was during the event. So I'm sure if we added his legs back in, he would be roughly this kind of size. Yo, epic. That's nuts. Speaking of nuts, look how many crows there are. Like, look at, what am I looking at? This is like a new species of crow. How many you reckon there are? Holy shit, there was three. There was 3 crows all inside each other. That's disgusting. But of course, I would be wrong. There is another giant. It's in our Fortnite's game, or at least in the universe, that is bigger than Galactus. Oh, that is right. You guys may remember all the way back in Season 8 of Chapter 2, the final season. There was an epic battle with the aliens that were on our island against Dr. Sloan and the Seven. In this crazy event, the skies opened up and we got to see not only several giant alien mothership UFOs, but something massive that we've never seen before in Fortnite. Whatever the name of this giant alien structure is, I actually don't know. I looked online a whole bunch to find out what this thing is really called. There are some suggestions that this is the mothership, but that was the name of the giant UFO to begin with. So is this like the mega mothership, the starship? I don't know. Just let me know, okay? Whatever this giant ship is, it is in our Fortnite universe. So we need to measure it to find out its size and compare it to everything else we've talked about. I want to know if this thing is bigger than Galactus, huh? To find out the size of this giant starship, we're gonna have to once again look to the leakers to help us out. The giant starship is not in our Fortnite game as of yet, but the model for it is, and it can be found in the game's files. Leakers have actually found the model of this giant starship in the files, and they've actually kind of half done the work for us. They've already compared this giant alien starship to our Fortnite Island, which is actually, keep going. Yes, that is our Fortnite Island right there. That is our island, and that is the starship. This image revealed by leakers literally confirms the giant starship is enormous, incomparable with our Fortnite Island. But how does it stack up compared to Galactus and the Ice King? Well, let's find out. We can take this image and actually layer it over our Fortnite Island, because this original image released by the leakers has the Fortnite Island already sized to scale. We can simply take our Fortnite Island and shrink it down to match, and that will give us the size of the giant starship compared to our Chapter 3 island. Now those sizes are accurate and compared, we can see how they actually look compared to the Ice King. As you can see, the Ice King, well, there's no comparison. The Ice King is shrunk compared to the size of this giant alien UFO starship thing in our game. Sorry, Ice King, this is one battle you're not gonna win, but what is more interesting is Galactus himself. Comparing this giant spaceship to Galactus, we actually get a pretty accurate size comparison, and we can still see that even Galactus himself is challenged by the size of this giant ship. I don't think it's up for any kind of debates that this giant starship is by far the biggest thing to ever exist in our Fortnite game. This giant starship seems to be the starship that is controlling all the giant mothership UFOs in our Fortnite game, and they were huge. But it would seem that Galactus would be defeated if he went in a 1v1 against this starship, at least if the competition was size. Oh my goodness. Oh, and yeah, just for the record, there are other stuff coming in Fortnite down the line. We obviously know that a giant monster is soon to make a reappearance in our Fortnite game in the new season. That's Season 2! So who knows the size of that giant beast, what it will look like, how it will compare to the Ice King and maybe Galactus, who knows? So put a great code on screen right now. Let me know what you guys think about this video and everything we talked about, guys. If you enjoyed this size comparison video, there's another one on screen right now. It's very similar. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Guys, I'm gonna catch you all in the next crazy Chapter 3, almost Season 2 of Fortnite video. Thanks, guys. Peace.